I would think Footscray, if they can certainly hold out the Melbourne two key marking targets on that forward line, Lyon and Schwarz.
Well, let's see what happens in this all-important third quarter. Melbourne go into it leading by 3 on half-back. Now he goes wide to the outer side and Rowan Smith.
Well done, good running.
Over the top he goes to Kim Costa. Footscray have it on the outer side of the ground. On centre wing, Southern in front, but belted away from him.
Looks like Southern may be playing further afield. Is he still at centre half back on?
No,
he's on the forward line.
Forward down there on Sean White. From the throw-in. Caught was Vine. He tried to get a left foot chip at the ball, but was unsuccessful. Obst onto the ground, gets the hand pass away towards Tingay. Tingay is caught.
Great tackle there by Tony Liberatore, the best tackler in the competition.
Just like a vice, isn't it? There was absolutely no way out.
And if we ever forget that he's the best tackler in the competition, Bernie will keep telling us
all the
about
time. I love his play.
Sean White defending. A little chip to Grant. Is he going to complete the recovery into full forward, and Southern marks?
Well, I think he may have played on, but I think there'd be a free kick there anyway, because I think he was shoved in the back there. Oh, he's a fearsome-looking customer, isn't he, Malloy?
As Robbo suggested earlier, if Malloy should meet Danny Southern,
we might see a bit of it this half.
It would be an interesting prospect. Danny for goal, and he gets it.
Sandy with Southern up there on the forward line. Reynolds is playing in the key defensive position for Footscray. At centre-half back, picking up David Schwarz.
Now there's just 12 points in it.
And this was good play by Chris Grant. He didn't blaze away at goal. He saw the opportunity there to pass it. He definitely played on, but there was a push in the back, as we saw there, Robbo, by Malloy on Danny Southern. And Southern kicked only his 4th goal for the season.
9-7 play, 6-7. Don't forget that Melbourne led 5-4 to 1-5 and then 9-7 to 6-7. Irving and Stanfield. Ball spills for Hunter. Hunter gets an effective kick across his body. Neitz is smothered. Another good sign for the Bulldogs. And they're rewarded with a free kick.
Well, this should be just about 50. The umpire has blown the whistle. Those two Melbourne players just attacking Richard Osman.
Play on call. Wide for Kellett. Kellett's kick. Into the pocket. Back goes Neitz. Melbourne under siege. Johnson, hand pass. Oh, that's a throw, isn't it? No. West gets away with it. To Southern. Southern's kick. Now Grant. And he's been penalised. Chris Grant into the back there of Primke.
Primke to take it on the last line of defence. Goes to the outer side again. Irving in front. Away to Obst. Spent considerable time on the bench. Schwarz comes charging out into the middle. Had it for a moment, then lost it, but may regain it. Spins into trouble. The ball spilled free. Lovett gets it out. Melbourne under siege now. Glenn Lovett on centre wing. Tries to get away from Wallace, then pulls it round his body up towards right half forward. Pike for a diving mark is going to be paid. Martin Pike. Century kick in towards half forward. Was there a push there on Reynolds? He wanted the free kick. He's not going to get it, however. Instead, Lovett from a standing start. Pumps it in towards full forward. Over the top it goes for the quick reply. Brett Lovett gets his first, and again, we're out to a 3-goal margin.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a steadier there for Melbourne. They needed that because just to maintain that margin with Footscray charging in. We saw that diving mark from Pike out on in front of the member stand.
Quite a degree of difficulty.
10-7 play, 7-7. Melbourne lead again by 3 goals, and they go surging forward. They're answering with effectiveness and use of the football. It's with Garry Lyon once again.
Well, they've got Steve Pretiuk back on Garry Lyon. I think maybe I would have left Nicholson with that task in the second half.
Garry Lyon from about 50 metres. Oh, what a kick. What a magnificent kick by Lyon. It's his 7th goal.
See, it's a big effort. Big effort.
If you had to rely on any man to win a game for you with a kick after the siren, apart from Billy Brownless, I would have this man, Garry Lyon, the Melbourne skipper, because this is a magnificent kicking action, totally relaxed, kicks right through the ball and split the middle.
And a 60-metre kick there for goal by Garry Lyon. So the Bulldogs being thrown out the challenge. Here goes Matthew Phoebe, tackled by Hunter, but the ball in towards full forward, taken by Crediuk. Goes after it once again. This is Pike. Hand pass, Glenn Lovett, taking from Schwarz. Glenn Lovett shot for goal. May have been smothered off the boot, was it? It's through from behind anyway. And it'll be awarded to Glenn Lovett for the Demons. And a bit of little how-do-you-do behind play there between two of the AFL's harder customers, Mark Hunter and Todd Viney.
Rowan Smith to bring it back into play. Footscray must make their move. Wallace marks unattended.
A danger period now for the Dogs.
Yep. Almost down to half back. He kicks in towards centre wing. But Meets was also unattended, and he takes the mark and he spears it in towards half forward, and pinpoint accuracy finding Lovett. Glenn Lovett. Inside 50, out comes the charging Schwarz. That is mark number 8. To the pocket, this is holding on. It's going the way of Melbourne.
Well, they must make that move, get Crediuk off line, put Nicholson on him.
Garry Lyon for goal number 8.
Footscray making a change too, with Matthew Croft limping off the ground and Anthony Darcy about to come on. There's that holding decision. Very well, I don't think it even impeded him, did it? Not at all.
Pretty ordinary free kick.
They're making a change. Footscray as Garry Lyon shoots for number 8 and gets it. Well, we talk about mighty finals performances the way Garry Lyon's going. We're going to be talking about this one for quite a while, Bernie.
Yeah, well, he's been magnificent as we see this free kick again in replay. Had the break. It certainly didn't impede him in any way whatsoever, but he threw the arms out there just to make sure that the umpire saw it. And Matthew Croft looks like he's damaged a left hamstring.
Croft on the sidelines and in trouble. Now boundary riders will check him out. Again, the margin out to 31 points. Pressure again intense on the Dogs. Atkins applies the tackle. The ball spills free. Malloy gets it away, however. Now they've got a chance through Neats to go up towards half forward. Schwarz spoiled by Reynolds, but in so doing he's given away a free kick.
I think he grabbed his Guernsey there in that attempted spoil there, Keenan Reynolds.
So he's copping plenty, David Schwarz, but he's got all the answers. What an attack with he and an informed skipper up forward. Speak of the devil. This will be for number 9. And I think we're going to be heading for the record books the way he's kicking for goal. Well, he elects to go short into the pocket, and that was really untidy.
It's the first time he's let himself down today, Garry Lyon.
He and Schwarz attempting to combine again. Now let's have a look, Bernie, and see what happened to Grell. Bang, he grabs the back of the leg.
He's had hamstring problems in the past, Matthew Croft.
Rowan Smith's kick is across the face of goal. Scotty West was Footscray's best by a mile in the first half, but Tingay irons him out in no uncertain fashion and causes the ball to spill free and go over the line. Fine tackle. 31 points the margin. Irving got a hand to it. Viney pulls it round his body. He wants his captain. Fisted away from him. Down to Leon Cameron. He too is well tackled, I thought. The umpire says no.
The umpire didn't see it that way. He awarded a free for a push in the back.
What did you think, Bert?
I thought the tackle was pretty good.
Oh, Reynolds has come undone, maybe. Lovett applies a tackle. They've still got possession. Phoebe, this is Matthew Phoebe, floating kick to Lyon, and he marks directly in front, 25 metres out.
Leon Cameron, a crucial error there with that pass to Keenan Reynolds. You go for that short stuff, the kicks and the skill has to be spot on. He's had a very poor afternoon, Leon Cameron. And there's the mark again to Garry Lyon. As the big fella Dean Irving comes off to be replaced by Jimmy Steins. And Garry Lyon lining up now for goal number 9.
Kicking from 30 metres. Directly in front. He floats it through. Well, this is extraordinary, Bernie. He's kicked 3 in each quarter.
Yeah, what a champion, the Melbourne skipper there, Garry Lyon. Here we see the little mistake there. It really had to be spot on. He gave the ball to a slow player. No pace there, Keenan Reynolds to break clear. And clever centering kick there by Matthew Phoebe. Garry Lyon just threatening now. The best is 12. Kicked by Norm Smith against Footscray.
86 plays 49. Oh, Schwarz, look at that! That was magic! Lyon couldn't quite finish it off with a mark, but he's got the free kick. And what about the spin by David Schwarz out of the middle? His teammates are swarming to him and saying, well done on a mighty effort.
I'm calling him Rudolph after that one. Rudolph Nureyev.
Well, this is why. Look at that.
Look at the pirouette there.
Nureyev couldn't do that.
Magnificent. He did that last week, the blind turn. It's become a part of his game, a major part.
Lyon for number 10. From 40 metres, he starts it right in this crowd.
Well, Sandy, if I have been doing a bit of rustling while you've given the vocal cords a bit of a workout.
Just look at this,
David Schwarz. A terrific performance by this young player. But Garry Lyon has a goal-scoring achievement of 11 to better this first semi-final individual goal-scoring record, which is held by Harry Soapy Valance from Carlton.
Well, they've got it in attack once again. Obst, floating kick, finds Lovett inside 50. Brett Lovett kicked a goal earlier in the quarter. Garry Lyon just points to the goal and says, don't worry about us. But he does. He chips into the pocket and he's found him again.
Well, Southern's now at full-back picking up Garry Lyon. Stu Crediger on the bench. And the man that I would have been playing on him, Brad Nicholson, is picking up Martin Pike.
So Soapy Valance booted 11.
In 1931, 8 goals to Collins of Carlton, Toomey of Collingwood and Wade of Geelong.
Here's number 10 if he's accurate. And he is! Oh, this is some finals feat by Garry Lyon.
Yeah, what a performance by Garry Lyon. He is a champion playing at full forward for the Melbourne side. Now 76 goals for the season. And there it is, the lead and the pass. Perfect. It could have gone to either Lyon or Schwarz.
Well, they've made a mess of this after Footscray kicked the first goal of the third quarter. Now Melbourne have kicked 8 on the run. So in the centre, the Footscray boys now with some pride at stake. Certainly there, Barry Stanfield having a little bit of a tate with the umpire as Steins gets it to Tingay. Tingay towards full forward. Schwarz swooping on it as Lovell. Lovell's kick to the goal front. Punched away for a rush behind to Melbourne. And that's a bit of an anticlimax for the Demons. It's been an absolute avalanche at that goal-scoring end of the ground in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Sean White in the picture there, running back with Richard Osborne. So those players have come from the Footscray forward line. This is Smith to kick in. Goes to the 50-metre line or just inside it where Hunter has taken the mark for the Bulldogs. Mark Hunter's kick is short. Obst, good player Obst, out wide to Glenn Lovett. Has a look and then delivers to the front of the goals. And back there taking a good strong mark is Danny Southern for Footscray. He runs away from the goal square. Lyon holding his right hamstring.
Yeah.
And Southern's kick bounces over the boundary line on the full. So the free kick will be taken out there for Melbourne by Stephen Tingay. Garry Lyon, 10 goals. The goal-scoring record by an individual, Soapy Valance, of 11. Tingay's kick looks for Lyon, nearly got it too. Spills out of his right hand over for a boundary throw-in as Garry Lyon just stretching a little bit and running into his teammate David Schwarz.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything too serious. Maybe a little bit of a twinge in the hamstring, but if there is any danger, I better put him in Cottonwool for next week.
Look at that for a kick. Oh, what a goal by Brett Lovett. They can do no wrong. Lovett gets his second for the quarter, and the D's now are turning this into one-way traffic.
That's what we spoke about, the danger of a rout early in the game, when Melbourne really rocked away early in the game in that first quarter. But now it's been all Melbourne after Danny Southern kicked that early goal. It's been all one-way traffic, Melbourne dominating out of the middle.
Six goals to 1 so far this quarter. Lovett gets it out towards Dyson. It's out in front of Kevin Dyson. He tries to get away from Scotty West, then feeds off the hand pass towards Hopgood, who chips in towards half forward. No one able to take it cleanly. Nicholson gets caught. Cry of ball from the Demon supporters. Schwarz to Dyson. Another one towards Lovett. He's still outside 50. They're throwing it around at Gay abandoned. Tingay's going to get a set shot from 46 metres. He has kicked it. What a quarter of football from Melbourne.
A 7-goal quarter by the Demons. 9-7 at half-time. They are now 16-10. Here we see a lovely little balk there by Stephen Tingay. And the goal umpire did not move, right over the top of him. So a wonderful performance by the Demons in this third quarter.
Nice way to celebrate your 100th game.
And Cameron on the bench.
16-10 to 7-7. Stanfield still trying very hard for the Bulldogs. Kellett in the box seat overruns it. Hopgood making it difficult and eventually holding it up for Melbourne. Nearly out to centre wing. Scotty West, the last two, picking himself up. West 14 kicks and 4 handballs. He'd had 14 and 3 at half time, so he's been fairly quiet, but a lot of Footscray boys with him. This is Brett Lovett. Seems to have plenty of time. Kicks towards half forward. The ball spills now for Pike. Pike gets it to Glenn Lovett. A little bit too fierce with the hand pass. Glenn Lovett gets out of trouble. Then hand passes, but it's Reynolds for Footscray. Kicks back towards the wing. The bouncing ball a little awkward for Osborne. And Malloy quite content to allow it to trundle over for a throw-in. And a dipper on the boundary line, Matthew Croft.
Yes, Robbo, as suggested, Matthew Croft is in pain with his left hamstring, heavily bandaged, and also Krinyuk is off the ground feeling quite ill, so they've only got one interchange to muck around with.
Well, danger all around now for the Doggies.
Atkins inside 50 for the Bulldogs. They've kicked just 1 goal for the quarter.
And the other one,
rather rare to see it down in that zone.
The other one, Sandy, Chris Grant can't be feeling all that well after that heavy clash.
No. As the hit-outs, as we've seen them unfold.
The same thing happened last week. It was 43 hit-outs to 20 last week.
8-0
in the game against Geelong. So it's really mattered more at ground level today, Sandy, because they just haven't been able to get it away from that centre square.
Well, Michael Malthouse and his
Not
West
enough
Australia's counterparts are here, and they'll have plenty to think about this week before the D's make the trip across the Nullarbor. Johnson, under real pressure, gets a snap away from behind.
2 goals, 3 now to Brad Johnson. And Steve Krediuk. This boy's been impressive, Malloy, a late inclusion in the side after Sean Charles withdrew.
Well, his kick in goes to the outer side, looking out there for Obst, but too far for that player. And Allen, in trying to intercept, has kicked it out on the full. So the free kick will be taken by Obst between left back pocket and left half back flank. He's allowed to run on, which is not all that good defensive work by the Footscray player. Schwarz takes basically a one-hander on centre wing. That's a bit of arrogance, and then brushes the tackle from Atkins and plays on. Kicks in towards the centre. Beautifully weighted kick. Lovell marks in front of Rowan Smith. Pretty well in the middle of the MCG. Andy Chopper Lovell for Melbourne. kicks to the right half forward area. Out here is Jimmy Steins. The ball will sit for him. He can go in short. And a lovely little pass. Puts it on the chest of Pike. Pike can go short, but he can kick to Lyon. Goes in towards half forward, but reading it nicely was Costa, and he gets back to chop it off for Footscray. Kicks it across the full back line with the mark is taken out there in the back pocket by Danny Southern. Sunshine just streaming down here now at the MCG. We had rain a little earlier in this third term. That kick out towards the wing, the mark has been awarded to Andy Lovell for Melbourne. 16-10 plays 7-8. Remembering that Footscray kicked the first goal of the third term, and there's been 7 unanswered goals kicked by the Demons, of which most of them have been kicked by Garry Lyon. This is Tingay. Tingay from the 50-metre line. Lyon's got it again, and a chance to equal that individual goal scoring record of the first semi-final.
Alan Joyce looks remarkably calm.
Well, what can you do? Certainly the numbers against him. He started the game without Wine and Grigich. And Lyon goes for goal. He may have missed. He has. So a bit of an anticlimax. 10 goals, 3 now to the Melbourne captain. And still we can't get a smile from the coach's box for Melbourne. Gary Dempsey looking resplendent in his baseball hat and bluey jacket.
Keenan Reynolds to bring it back into play. The ball has spent most of the quarter down at this end of the ground. West under pressure. A poor kick straight to Obst, who's come onto the ground and picked up plenty of touches. Across he comes to Steins. There's red and blue running everywhere. Dyson from 50 metres to a line, but it's a goal. Kevin Dyson has booted a couple of boomers. Both at that end of the ground. Well, we were talking about a rout earlier in the day, but I'm afraid we're looking at one in this quarter.
Yes, that's right, Sandy. It's just been all one-way traffic. Very little Footscray can do around midfield. Jimmy Steins dominating the ruck against Stanfield.
The ball still in the centre. This is Osborne for Footscray. Kicks it across his left shoulder towards half forward. No mark. West in trouble. Gets the handball away. Norwich cleanly to Todd Viney, but the ball spills back for West. West in towards full forward. Grant. Can he gather that awkward bouncing ball? Primke is onto him.
Free kick.
And Grant interfered with by the Melbourne defender. Primke can't understand it, but the umpire in the picture there, Chris Mitchell, has awarded the free kick to Chris Grant.
Chris Grant, I think, even the fact that he's out there is quite amazing after that knock that he received in that first half.
Grant from the left forward pocket, only about 25 metres from goal. Kicks for goal and puts it through. So a good kick there by the Footscray player Chris Grant for his second goal. But it really is a drop in the ocean. The Demons 17-11, Footscray 8-8.
Let's have a look at the free kick again. Maybe just a little touch there over the shoulder by Primke. A little touch again. There's a little, probably a bit of manhandling all the way through.
Well, Grant, you mentioned, has done a terrific job, but when you're knocked out, that may have upset his balance in that situation. But still, he was able to kick the goal. Very important for Footscray. Liberatore's underneath all that, as he normally is at centre bounce contests. Terrific little player, Tony Liberatore.
Their on-ballers haven't had a lot of it, though, have they, today, Robbo? You know, Libba's had 5 and 6, 5 kicks and 6 handballs. Atkins has been very quiet with 8 and 4.
Under 4.5 minutes remaining. White tries to tap it to the advantage of Dyson. Now he needs support, and he gets it. Neats his kick up towards half forward. Schwarz and Southern neither could take it. Hunter could have been held. Wants to play on, but now is called to go back. Mark Hunter goes across the ground. Pike gives chase, but away goes Costa. From centre wing up towards Kellett on the right half forward. He trapped that nicely. Can he get even further forward? Got to get around Hopgood. can't do so cleanly, but does get a kick up towards Osborne. Not in front, however, and Sean White defends. He's playing in front.
Well, that's all the ducking and weaving by Kellett. The full forward goes one way or the other, and then his kick falls in short.
Todd Viney, former South Australian, coming from the Adelaide Hills. Neats in that pack. Reynolds almost tried to sock it off the ground. Obst at the bottom. So too well, you'd expect to find Liberatore there.
Obst a similar type player too. Good close in, very good close in.
So the D's by almost 10 goals. Neats gets the hand pass away again. Out of trouble they come. Dyson comes over the middle. He can kick a ball to Schwarz. Couldn't take the mark. Lovell to do the roving work in front. Gets the hand pass away. Over the top goes Glenn Lovett. In towards the pocket. Which way will it bounce? Away from Garry Lyon and over the boundary line in Melbourne's left forward pocket. Well, Demon fans can certainly smile. Leading by almost 10 goals in this knockout final. Schwarz beautifully with one hand. He's better than Uraev. Lovett has kicked his third for the quarter.
Gee, that's a big statement. Better than Uraev.
Uraev wasn't good at football.
Wasn't a bad dancer.
Well, he did that last week, didn't he? The big fella, Schwarz. He was a magician at this out of the ruck last week. He took it, had about 3 bounces and kicked the goal. Uncontested.
That was goal of the day.
That was genius, that stuff as well. Just body on body. He's just been too strong also for Danny Southern today.
Terrific vision again too to get the ball to Brett Lovett. Stein's doing a magnificent job in the centre. Stanfield manfully for Footscray. The ball kicked wide. Bouncing awkwardly in front of the players and eventually knocked over by Rowan Smith for a boundary throw-in. Well, Melbourne led by 18 points at half-time. We now have a margin of, 63 points? And there's still 2.5 minutes left in the third term. So a magnificent third term by the Demons.
Well, Cameron doing the ruck work there against Jimmy Steins.
Well, the free kick will go to the Melbourne player, Steins, as Cameron gingerly takes his feet. Steins runs on and kicks efficiently to the 50-metre line. Schwarz in front, the ball with Stanfield. Malloy, good tackle.
He's a good tackler.
Now it's with Darcy for Footscray. Darcy's kick wide out towards the wing, punched away by Hopgood from Robbie West. Handball over the top by Brett Lovett. Steins, look at this, they're sharing it beautifully. Brett Lovett getting kicks at will. Down towards half forward, it's taken by Glenn Lovett.
You see that out on the wing? It was 4 Melbourne players to 1 Footscray player.
He plays on now and heads in towards the scoring zone. Towards Garry Lyon. No mark taken. In the pocket. Viney, a little centering chip. It's a clever kick. And Lovell takes the mark directly in front. Celebrating his 100th game. Both he and Steve Tingay, 100 today, and interestingly enough, both kicked the winning goals in their first game. So Lovell, from 30 metres out, just pops one over the top for another goal to the Demons. 2 goals to Andy Lovell, both kicked at this end of the ground. This has been a memorable quarter of football by the Demons. 19-11 to 8-8.
10 goals for they've kicked this quarter, the Demons. A huge quarter of football. Andy Lovell chipping in there, kicking his second goal. He kicked one in the first quarter as well.
Miserable scoreboard if you're a Footscray supporter, but terrific stuff if you're a Demon fan. Stanfield kicks the ball forward for Footscray. Inside 50 metres, it goes past Grant and Primke. First back there was Hopgood. And he's clearing kick. Goes over for a throw in about 45, maybe 40 metres from the Footscray goal. Left forward pocket for the Bulldogs. Only multiple goal scorers for the Bulldogs, Chris Grant and Brad Johnson with 2 apiece. Melbourne trying to clear the ball from the back pocket area. And the umpire will call for a bounce. Garry Lyon, 10 goals. 3 goals to Brett Lovett and 2 each to Dyson and Andy Lovell. Steins gets it down but can't break clear. Stanfield goes in with the fist to try and punch the ball clear, but Jimmy Steins not happy there. Nothing much really. A pack of about 16 or 18 players around the ball. And again, Steins tries to take it. Viney, kick clear, no, not effective there by Johnson. And the umpire calls for a bounce once again. Just seconds left in this third term, which has been all Melbourne. Footscray kicked the first goal of this third quarter. Melbourne answered with 10 goals, and the Bulldogs got a late goal. And they may get another one. Liberatore's shot misses and off to the left. So that could possibly be the last score of the third term. 19-11 plays 8-9, and the time remaining just 3 seconds. This is Malloy for Melbourne. Kicks into the members' side and does it very nicely. Finds Tingay. So Tingay can notch up another statistic, a mark. But at three-quarter time,
Standing ovation for Melbourne.
and a magnificent third term for Melbourne. They kick 10-4 to Footscray's 2-2, and they lead 19-11, 125 to Footscray 8-9-57.
And here we go, the bounce to start the final term. Irving wins it, Lovett down towards half forward. Uraev couldn't quite take it cleanly. He got a hand to it. They surge it inside 50. Costa tries to chop it off. He does so and gets a kick back towards the centre. Fisted down by Neitz towards Tingay. Had it for a moment. Sits over it. May almost be pinged. Comes out towards Obst. He floats it clear. Melbourne looking at the percentage game again. Lovett caught. Well tackled. The ball spills free. There's a bit of a Barney on behind play. Someone's just taken their jumper off. Irving. It's just saying, look, don't worry about that, Kim. Have a look at the scoreboard. Inside Melbourne's attacking zone. Irving wins it but can't take it away. West is sandwiched.
And it's probably typical of Melbourne today, the way they've got the numbers to the fall of the ball, similar to what they did last week against Carlton. Every time the ball hit the ground, it was always Melbourne that got the ball last week and again today.
Bernie, you looked at the third quarter stats, 86 possessions to Melbourne to 42. You don't often see one team dominate to that extent in a quarter. Twice as many. Cameron is kicked to the goal square, knocked away by Sean White. That's a mark.
Great mark.
Got his left hand onto it and brought it to the ground. Hand pass away to Lovell. Lovell's kick out towards half-back. The mark is taken by Primke. Good running provided there by Norrish, and backs himself. He's got a bit of pace. Kicks with the right foot up towards half-forward. Punched away there by Reynolds from Pike. Ball spills now for Hilton. Now it's Dyson. His kick. Oh, it's nearly taken by Lyon. Taken to the ground. Hilton again. Back onto the right foot. Pike, can he get the hand pass clear? He can. Irving, shot for goal by Dean Irving. There's another Melbourne goal. Dean Irving kicks his first goal. Melbourne get their 20th early in the last quarter. They're 20-11 to 8-9, and the all-time high score in the first semi-final, 25-17, kicked by Richmond, is in danger.
There certainly is, Robbo. There's no doubt about that. Melbourne doing as they like here. The hand pass there coming from Martin Pike, and the big fella showing a fair bit of skill there, just bending down to pick the ball up and kicking his second goal for the year.
Back in the middle once again. Lovett applies a strong tackle. Neitz is away, but the whistle has sounded. Kim Costa picks himself up after that tackle. They sort themselves out for another bounce. Garry Lyon, 10 goals to date in a wonderful performance. Melbourne will cross the Nullarbor and play the West Coast Eagles in a preliminary final next week. Stanfield. His co-big men, Ilya Grigic. There's a good mark taken by Richard Osborne. Ilya Grigic and Scotty Wine being forced to watch from the stands today.
Third mark to Richard Osborne. Hasn't kicked a goal. It was a good mark this time by Osborne. A good attack on the ball. And got the ride there on Lovell out in front of Sean White.
So Osborne for his first. Kicking from 46 metres. He starts it right. And it refuses to come back enough. One behind. Phoebe on the bench.
Which
That's all
one?
I'm saying.
Which one? Here comes a hail, I think, Sandy. No, it might be just a bit of rubbish thrown down.
Well, I think you've got a chance that you can be right because they're both on the bench.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I can't see the other one.
And the kick now wide out towards the wing. Irving and Stanfield. We'll see a throw in just forward of centre wing. In Footscray's attacking half. Well, a real struggle for possession here. Atkins goes in after the football. Malloy over the top. And the umpire will have to bounce.
He's tried hard, Stanfield, in the ruck, but he's just been overwhelmed, hasn't he, with the height of Irving and Steins. And there's Steins on the bench with the Phoebe twins.
If only Jimmy would lean back, we'd be able to show the viewers at home just what difficulty there is in distinguishing between Stephen and Matthew Phoebe. But the umpire's got some problems here. And Cameron and Malloy just having a little, hello, how are you? I don't think they get that close socially, but...
I don't think Malloy would be too worried about it either.
No. Well, play goes on, and ball spills now for Brett Lovett. He kicks it high, close to the line. And is that nearly a mark paid at the back? No, it's Darcy and Glenn Lovett. And the ball goes over for a throw-in. That's Anthony Darcy, of course. Luke Darcy was named in a group of 7 players from which Footscray would name their interchange from, but he didn't take his place. As a matter of fact, he played in the reserves earlier today. And Stanfield with the football. Kicks quickly with the left. Malloy will allow it to go over.
It may have been handy in hindsight, Robert, to have him on the interchange bench. Luke Darcy with his height.
Yes, well, a very inexperienced player, but I guess with height, at least you can go in there with some sort of thing to contend with at centre bounces. Todd Viney, now Lovell. And everything held up. So, some football out there on the outer wing, left half forward area for Footscray, not providing much at all. And the umpire's having a bigger part to play as the players striving to clear the ball from that area.
Bounce once again, Irving and Stanfield. Barry Stanfield tries to get clear. Obst applies the tackle. Norrish gets caught. Cameron tries to get through, then floats a hand pass away. The umpire said, but you did it illegally. You threw it. So it's been a dog of a day for young Leon Cameron. The Lovell's away. He's happy with his 100th game. But the whistle has sounded, and it's going to come back. There's a bit of funny work going on there with Dean Irving, was there? He can't understand it.
High with the shepherd.
So Stanfield kicks towards half forward. Primke couldn't take the mark. It's belted off the ground down towards Osborne, close to the boundary line. Did you keep it in, Aussie? No.
A couple of the Footscray key possession winners around midfield have just been cut right out of it. Atkins started off okay, but he's only had 8 kicks and 4 hand passes. And Leon Cameron has only had 7 kicks and 1 hand pass.
Throw it in the left forward pocket. Irving, Grant comes over the top. In fact, got a hand to it. Malloy tried to take it, but couldn't. Viney sideways to Irving, and it slips towards the boundary line. Johnson almost throws it back to keep it in, but he's unsuccessful.
Another midfielder, Kim Costa, 6 kicks and 2 hand passes. They really just haven't had the on-ball power today. They've been cut to pieces around there.
Scott Allen preparing to have a run. Here comes Malloy. Finds Neitz. Melbourne out of trouble. Back towards the centre. The ball just sits in the air. Rowan Smith shows courage to go and charge at it. Gives it across to Hunter. Mark Hunter's in the middle. Gets the hand pass away to the outer side. Footscray trying to finish with some form of respectability on the scoreboard. Darcy's kick is wide towards half forward. Now Stanfield takes it. Centering kick in towards Grant, who's trying to do it from behind. And Neitz takes the mark.
Cameron off again for Footscray. Scott Allen back on.
Played well, Neitz, 11 kicks and 4 handballs and 7 marks. This is Tingay for Melbourne. His kick goes down towards half forward, and that was a top effort by Hilton. Not paid. Schwarz shrugs the tackle, then gives the hand pass back to Tingay. Tingay goes down the wing, a magnificent kick off the left foot, being a natural right foot kick. Pinpointed Malloy from 40 metres.
You forgot one of Nooch's stats, one knockout.
Malloy's kick floats over on the full, so the free kick will be taken for Footscray in the right back pocket by Keenan Reynolds. Reynolds kicks towards the 50-metre line, falls in short. Footscray a chance here through Stanfield. Not quite an effective enough kick. Dyson shrugs the tackle. Through goes Obst efficiently to Hilton, and Hilton equally as efficiently finds Pike directly in front of goal and will kick from about 50 metres.
It was good unselfish play there by Hilton, was it? Yeah, Hilton getting it ball there to Andy Lovell, to Martin Pike.
Pike with a duck egg beside his name as far as goal kicking is concerned so far. And he's soon... no, I think he's missed, does he? Yes. So still goalless at this stage, Martin Pike. And Cameron having another spell on the bench for the Bulldogs. And Keenan Reynolds will kick in. 20 goals, 12 plays, 8 goals, 10. A comprehensive victory coming up in the first semi-final to the Demons.
Footscray's season now has just 12 minutes to run. Wallace from the back pocket gets underneath it, drop punt, floats it high towards centre wing. Big fly by Irving, but no mark. Look at Liberatore. Irving finishes with him in a headlock almost.
Almost worth a mark there, wasn't it, to Irving?
I would have thought so.
Yeah, good effort.
But if you argue with the umpire, you don't get too many things in your favour.
65,577 fans in attendance here today. Liberatore again, but cut off by Lovett. Obst had it for a moment. Irving runs into trouble, back towards Obst and Dyson. Melbourne on the move again. Lovett on the outer side, chips in towards Schwarz.
Mark number 11 to David Schwarz.
I think we might call him Rudolph. We can afford a wry smile.
Coming in for kick number 14.
Been sensational. Stabs towards goal and has threaded it. Second goal to David Schwarz. Both kicked at that end of the ground. Melbourne get their 21st.
And his 60th goal for the season, David Schwarz. Garry Lyon coming off the ground and just having a rest, taking no chances with him. 10 goals. And Jimmy Styres back on. This is a terrific kick for goal there from David Schwarz.
Well, there's Garry Lyon with the Phoebe boys. They're pretty happy, and Garry Lyon personally would be ecstatic. Footscray got a free kick out of the ruck contest, or it looked as though it may have been interference in the ruck contest in the centre, and that kick has been marked by Richard Osborne within scoring distance. And Lyon, safety.
Yes, that hamstring, is it?
I would suggest you're spot on, Sandy. We saw him in about the second quarter, was it? Grasping at his right leg. This is Osborne. Hits the post. Richard Osborne. And Neil Curley maybe can confirm the problem with Garry Lyon.
Yes, it's when he collided with Schwarz in the third quarter. It looks like a precautionary one. They're just strapping him up with ice. And no doubt, of course, they want him available for next week.
Love it, thank you, Curls. Kicks towards a diving Tingay. Chris Grant can't keep it in play. And the throw-in will take place. Steve Tingay's had a big day. And he'll be on the whacker next Saturday. From the throw-in, West, who started so well, couldn't take it. Glenn Lovett again runs into the Scotty West tackle. Rob West is there, so too Liberatore. Liver round the body in towards half forward. A big pack of players and a fine mark taken by Neitz.
He's been a terrific defender right throughout the day.
He's at half back. Goes over the middle. Schwarz can't quite get there in time. And now Danny Southern. Well, it was away, but in the meantime, a free kick's been picked up for Robbie West for a push. Well, he takes it on the defensive side of centre wing. Steins had his name written all over that. Lovell,
Free kick.
dragged around the net. Not a subtle tackle at all. More a frustrating tackle.
It's bad tackling by Scott Allen.
Lovell to centre wing, and a good mark taken by Malloy.
This boy will be hard to move from the side, I would think, Sandy. He's been terrific today.
He's done his bit, hasn't he? He wobbles a punt kick up towards half forward. Danny Southern applies the spoil. Pushed down towards Hotel. And he floats it in towards full forward from behind. 1 point to Hilton.
Alan Joyce, well, he's just resigned to the fact that it's all over for 1994.
Yes, 9 minutes left in the game. The kick-in has been marked by Steins. And it's the old adage, isn't it? Those tall players, they don't get any shorter as the day wears on. And Jimmy Steins standing up grandly. This is Todd Viney. He's kicked to the goal square. Irving from behind. Couldn't take the mark. Away goes Southern for Footscray. Short kick. Oh, puts it nearly on the chest of Tingay. And the rebound could prove costly. The kick goes towards Hilton. Hilton's kick for goal. Misses to the right. Well, I guess there's a few Melbourne players, Bernie, that would be trying to do the right thing in the last 10 minutes, because if Charles is fit, you would think that Charles would go in, so one of them has got to come out.
It'd be an automatic selection, I would think, after kicking 5 goals last week against Carlton. But, you know, they've put their hand up again today. These players that have taken... well, the player that Malloy, who came into the side as an emergency, has been terrific.
Brett Lovett can't quite control it, but gets an important tap forward. Oh, West taken over by Viney. Is that a free kick? Yes, I would have thought so too. I've seen a lot of things let go that were probably a little bit worse than that, but that free kick by West finds Southern. Now Smith. Lovely hand pass to West. That's Robbie West. In turn goes to Steve Wallace. Little build-up? No, the kick too short, and Lovell is marked. Lovell had a fantastic game against Carlton last week, picking up plenty of possessions, and he continues his good form this afternoon. The kick out towards the wing, it goes past both Schwarz and Southern. Southern happy to take it over, and a boundary throw-in will take place.
On centre wing, there's Sean Charles. Schwarz does the ruck work. Eventually just opts for a hand pass to gain 20 or 30 metres down towards the left half forward flank region. That ball went out. And it will be thrown in. On left half forward for the Demons. Who've controlled the football, particularly since half time, as you can see just even by those hand pass stats for this quarter. It's been all Melbourne. And an excellent display. Hilton used the body. West and Tingay running. Tingay goes back again. West has it at the bottom. Hilton is in there fighting.
I think that's an indication. Hilton trying to get as much into the action as possible. He's kicked 2 behinds in this last term, but gee, threw himself in there.
Would have loved a couple of goals just to put his hand up and say, hey coach, I'm here. So a bounce on centre wing. Under 7 minutes remaining. Irving, Lovett caught by Atkins. The ball held sufficiently to warrant another bounce. So Footscray will look back on a fighting year and look ahead to the summer and the months of training and preparation for another campaign. Lovett, Brett Lovett, down towards half forward. Kim Costa will be the first to recover, but Obbs chops him off with a delightful tackle. Picked up in towards half forward by Dyson. He too shrugs a tackle, then gives a little ground to go back towards Jimmy Steins. A left foot chip finds Tingay, and he does it well. Tingay's got a bit of room here. Steve Tingay, the hand pass to Dyson on 50. Over the top towards Lovett. He's caught, gives it away back to Dyson, back to Tingay. Well, they're mucking around with this one. He centres it. It's a high kick. Nureyev! Schwarz! Call him what you like.
Gee, that was a great leap, wasn't it?
12 marks to David Schwarz. What a game he's played. The two key forwards for Melbourne, Garry Lyon with 10 goals, now on the interchange bench.
He doesn't go on with any nonsense either.
No, he does not. He had a very quiet year last year, David Schwarz, but back with a vengeance this year. Look at that grab, terrific. Coming in for kick number 15.
And his third goal. Lots of wobbly old ugly punt.
2 goals, 1 now to David Schwarz.
That makes Wanganui a notoriety, that punt kick. A Wanganui punt.
He's got plenty of spring in his heels, David Schwarz. Has given Danny Southern a real headache today.
The play now back at centre wing. And a fine mark taken by Johnson.
This boy's tried hard, Robbo.
Yes, he kicked 2 goals in the first half. But certainly the odds up against the Bulldogs. The kick towards half forward, and it really is a sorry sight to see Chris Grant on the ground. He was knocked out in the second term, came back onto the ground in the early, or the start of the third quarter, but well, it's a big job. I mean, when people are knocked out, they very seldom play a week later, let alone a few minutes later. Tries to knock that into the path of Johnson. Johnson tackled, but he gets a little knock on. Scotty West, this is a good goal. That's a terrific kick by West. Footscray goal. That's his first goal for the day. And Footscray post their 9th goal on the scoreboard. 21-15 the Demons, 9-11 Footscray. Remembering that Garry Lyon for Melbourne on the bench at the moment has kicked 10 goals.
Yes, and Footscray's only goal for this final quarter. Scotty West, a natural left footer on his non-preferred side, just threading that one right through the middle.
Back in the middle, 141 plays 65, the dying minutes of this knockout semi-final. This is Darcy.
12 goals to 3 since half-time.
Yes.
In favour of Melbourne.
Now Danny Southern. Bang! Too high.
He was a bit lucky, Danny. He just stopped right in the path of Schwarz.
Pumps it long up towards half forward. Big pack of players. Neitz was in front. Lovell defends. A wobbly little punt kick goes back towards centre wing. Socket off the ground, but straight to Stephen Tingay. Melbourne combining beautifully. Lovell back towards centre wing. He was looking for Viney. Just couldn't quite get there in time. Rowan Smith got a decent old shove in the back after he took the kick. Big fly by Osborne, but he couldn't hold the mark. And Sean White comes away. Viney's alone on centre wing for a moment. Can go short to Lovett, and does. Here they go again. Steins, Big Jim, just outside 50. Little chip. Out comes Irving. Shows plenty of dash. Tries to shrug the Keenan Reynolds tackle. Lovett gets caught. Pike needs help. Kellett over the top of him. Pripke's down there. So too is Obst. And it's Obst who kicks into the man on the mark. It wobbles just inside 50 and eventually gets stolen. And well stolen too by Darcy. As he runs out of defence, goes up towards half forward. Neitz, however, is again the stumbling block.
About a dozen marks to that player at centre half back for Melbourne. The kick goes in towards the centre. Looking for Primke. He was pretty solid in that contest. Gathers and then kicks in towards full forward. Mark is taken by Schwarz, and that would have to be his 14th mark.
Well, I'm not too sure. It must have been collected in that contest there by Danny Southern.
Well, it's amazing what can happen, isn't it? I mean, this player, 13 marks it is that he's taken, 15 kicks and 12 handballs.
Let's have a look at this
2
again.
goals.
He takes the mark. I think he may have been collected after he took the mark, a knee there from Anthony Darcy, and that's a bit nasty. Very nasty, in fact.
Well, you'd have to classify that as purely accidental, surely.
Oh, yeah.
But what I was going to say, you've got 3 minutes left of a semi-final. These boys have got the final in Western Australia to look forward to.
Well, this
one of your absolute stars goes down with a bit of, looks like a bit of concussion, surely.
This would be an absolute tragedy. For the final minutes of the game, we've got under 3 minutes on the clock, and David Schwarz knocked out, well, appears to be knocked out from probably an accidental knee.
They've got to just So they could suggest get him off and get him off smartly and just keep him in cotton wool.
Actually, another thing that we haven't considered, if those Phoebe boys have been off the ground for a long time, they must both be injured, would you think? Because they've been good players for...
Oh, that was bad, wasn't it? Well, the danger in that sort of situation is a serious neck injury. He was going through with momentum and coming the other way, Darcy. That would give his neck a real jolt around.
Tragic way to finish proceedings. Well,
personally and also for Melbourne, as Robbo said, with the game against West Coast next week. And he looks in a bad way, David Schwarz. This is terrible.
Just so simple, wasn't it?
Absolutely terrible that this should happen to him at this stage of the game. He would be vying, I think, with Garry Lyon for the best player on the ground. Let's have a look at this just one more time. And that's a real crunch, isn't it?
Hit by the knee in an accident.
Let's hope he's okay and he can take his place next week. That'll be a real tragedy for Melbourne and for him personally.
For his sake especially. Well, there's nothing wrong with either Phoebe boys, according to coach Neil Curley. In fact, both were fairly quiet.
Yeah, they were very quiet.
Leaving the ground, Bernie.
Very quiet, but this is a sorry sight for Melbourne supporters and for football in general, because he's been magnificent this afternoon, David Schwarz. He's taken 13 marks, 15 kicks, 12 hand passes, kicked 2 goals.
Well, let's just hope that it's not a neck injury.
Yeah, that's right. It'd be bad enough if it's a concussion, because that may even keep him out for next week anyway.
It does raise the question as to whether he would be right to play. I mean, as we know, the general rule is at least a week for concussion.
I'll take him straight up the race now, Schwarz.
No talk of interchange there. But he's performed wonderfully well, and it's a tragic way for him to have to end his day.
Well, of course, he'd taken the mark, so the kick for goal being taken by Glenn Lovett.
Yep. Directly in front, just about, and from about 42 metres out. It's a drop punt that is away to the left and one behind. Well, Curls, have you got any news from the boundary line on him?
We have, Sandy. It's he hasn't been knocked unconscious. He's got a badly cut head, and they're taking him inside the room to stitch him up. Well, but he should be okay.
I'm pleased to hear that. Thank you very much. Southern was in front, but couldn't take the mark. West comes away. Back towards centre wing. Look at Tingay. Goes in and gets the football and brings it out to Lovell, who chips to half forward, and Todd Viney.
Todd Viney with the football for Melbourne. Kicks in towards the forward pocket area. Nearly the mark to Reynolds. Knocking it away was Irving. And a boundary throw-in will take place in the left forward pocket for the Demons. About 40 metres around from their goal. Garry Lyon looking quite satisfied with his performance. Viney tries to crash through. Gets it back to Dyson. Snapshot for goal by Kevin Dyson. Hooks it a little bit too far and through for one behind.
Footscray with only 2 players with more than 10 kicks. Scott West, who's been easily their best player with 21 kicks, and Brad Johnson with 10 kicks. After that, they just fall away very quickly.
Keenan Reynolds to bring it back into play. Goes to the outer side. It's over the line. I see Danny Southern in picture there, and sadly he hasn't had the sort of week leading up to a final that he would like, and I'm sure that the whole affair has had an effect on him.
In contrast, Sandy, Melbourne with 10 players with more than 10 kicks.
Yeah, tells the story, doesn't it? Stanfield gets a fist to it and again puts it over the line.
Oh, I forgot Barry Stanfield. Make that 3 Footscray players. Stanfield with 18, but he's been well beaten in the ruck, but he certainly has tried hard.
Stanfield again. 3, was it, Bernie?
3, Sandy, yes.
So still on the outer side.
He'll have some help next year. He'll have some statisticians in the grandstand to give him a bit of an idea with the statistics. This is Martin Pike trying to crash through that tackle from Barry Stanfield, and the umpire deems that the tackle was too high, so it's Pike for Melbourne to kick them inside 50 metres. At the back, Irving got his hands on it. Reynolds in front. Hilton underneath. And the umpire will call for a bounce. So Footscray out of the finals is Peter Gordon with Dougie Hawkins. And Dennis Gallimberti just off to the right there. So a sad end for their season, which was a good one, really, after an ordinary start. But bad luck with injuries, it's certainly cost them. That kick forward coming from Obst, through for one behind for Melbourne. That's their 18th, 21-18, plays 9-11, and we're down under a minute left in this game. The kick in has been marked by Costa. Costa from right half back down to centre wing, and oh gee, that was a great leap, an attempted mark by Lovell. The ball forced forward, but it's Neitz, tries to crash his way through, unsuccessful, knocked forward by West. Terrific bump and contest there between Obst and Steve Wallace. Steve Wallace tries to knock it on and couldn't quite get his effective fist to it, so it's a boundary throw in, right half forward for the Bulldogs, probably 2 kicks from their goal.
Steins in front. Stanfield comes from behind. Lovett waits down and gets it to Andy Lovell. He's on centre wing. Pumps Melbourne in towards the sunshine area of the MCG at half forward. Phoebe is there, but he's forced to apply the tackle on Danny Southern. That's Stephen Phoebe. As the seconds tick away, a magnificent win coming up for the Melbourne Football Club. There's the siren. The Demons are through to the preliminary final. Big winners set up by a stunning third quarter. Let's go down to the boundary line. Garry Lyon booted 10. Here he is with curls.
Thanks, Sandy. Well, Garry, that was a great team performance by your boys today.
Yeah, it was, mate. It's a nice feeling to put one. I mean, all the boys seem to play well and it all clicks, and what better time to do it than the final day.
And the ball came in nicer to you?
Yeah, wouldn't mind it coming like that every day. Full credit to the boys, they delivered it very well.
And your defence today was very tight back there.
I just reckon the all-round performance was terrific. You know, we didn't get much away there. The boys in the middle got it well, and we managed to kick a few. So
we got a big one next week. Perth or West Coast in Perth.
Yeah, well, you know, if you want to be a part of it, you got to win over there. So we'll get over there and have a crack at it.
Congratulations on your own individual game. Great performance. Go and cheer the boys. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Curls. Just repeating the score here at the MCG. Melbourne through to one preliminary final. Big winners, 21-18, 144. Footscray, their season over. Maybe Doug Hawkins' career is over. 9-11, 65.